132, y'all.
The Ultimate Deck Podcast. Need a show about outdoor living? This is where it's at with your hosts, Shane Chapman and Way Laurent. Thank you for tuning in. Now let the show begin. Yeah. The Ultimate Deck Podcast. Let's go. Let's go.
Welcome back, Wade.
Good to be back, buddy.
We got
really
Wade.
good to be back.
We almost had to change the opening.
Right?
You've been gone for so long.
Yeah, we were thinking we were going to have to order up a new Fiverr intro.
Yeah, exactly.
Get your name off it because you just hadn't been here in so long.
Yeah.
We dialed them in last week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
That's
the
true.
intro will just have to be like, with your host, Shane and Bryce and the odd time Wade.
Special guest featuring
Yeah. Friend of the show.
friend of the podcast.
Frequent caller, longtime fan. You're down in town. Why are you here? We're doing it.
Why are you here?
We came to do some interviews.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that the workforce place is an absolute tire fire right now?
What do you mean?
So 2 days ago, I had confirmed 5 interviews for today. We were able to successfully pull off 2 interviews. 2 were postponed and 1 is a no-show. No call, no show.
Why did they postpone? It's like a bad way to
Like
start an
feeling
interview.
sick. And
I've decided your job sounds shitty. Let's try again on Monday. Maybe I'll feel different.
I don't know.
Could be
man.
something like that.
It's so tough. Like, ugh.
So,
Because we already did this once.
right. But why don't you
Yeah.
tell the people
Yeah, let's talk about
why
why.
why the interviews didn't happen the last time we tried to fill this job?
Well, we ended up doing 2 interviews.
1, 2,
I thought we did
1.
2.
No, we did 1.
Oh, yeah. The other one
So-
didn't come. So I thought that I had scheduled the interviews the last time and I didn't. That was like, that's the long and short of it.
Wade drove down the highway. This is a 2.5 hour drive
Yeah.
in Canadian because we measure trips in time.
Yeah, we don't measure.
No distance.
Distance.
It's 150 miles away.
Yeah.
Wade's thought he set up some interviews. He set up the calendar invites and everything, invited me, asked me if I could stay late on the Monday. I got
Which you
permission
did.
from my wife and was like, I won't be home tonight. We have interviews to do.
Yeah.
All this happens. Everything happens. Wade shows up. First interview's at 5 o'clock.
The Ultimate Deck Shop was very much in the loop.
5:05. Not here yet. Not a good look, lady. Not a good look.
Not a good look.
5:15. Okay, now we're really pushing it.
She
No
blew
phone
us
call,
off.
no nothing.
Yep.
5:30. Not here. Okay, well, I guess she ain't showing up. Wade, I jokingly said at 5:15, I was like, you did let her know that she was being interviewed, right?
And I was like, yeah. I'm sure I did.
The
And then
next interview was at 5:30 or 6 or something.
They usually give us an hour.
Same thing happened. Nobody
Well,
shows
that's
up.
weird. 2 in a row.
Wade, now for real, did you actually let them know? Calls the first lady. She's like, yeah, no, nobody told me I was being interviewed tonight. I can be down there in 15 minutes, but I never got a phone call to let me know.
Bum, bum,
So
bum.
Wade didn't actually
Yeah.
let the interviewees know that they're being
So
interviewed.
this time, when I sent out the calendar invite, I sent it to the people that were interviewing as well. Novel idea, right?
That's,
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you would normally.
And we got
schedule
40% showed up this time, better than 0.
Yeah. So,
So
anyways.
we're good. Precision Construction says only thing worse than trying to hire is dating over the age of 40.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, he's single.
Jeez.
It's hard.
Is he? Do you think he's dating?
No, it sounds like it's really hard.
Maybe he's not trying to.
Get a new app. Have you heard of this
exactly.
app? It's called Tinder. You should
That
get
doesn't
that.
sound like a dating app, though.
Yeah, I bet you it'd work. I bet you
I bet you it'd work.
it works.
Let's talk about steel framing more.
It can be. Yeah.
Or less. That's probably
Scott, I
the
think
problem.
maybe you're the problem.
Yeah.
So, what are your interests? Oh, steel framing.
Oh, nice
I like
steel
to,
framing.
I like to frame decks out of steel. Okay. Do you have any hobbies? Building steel decks.
That's his Tinder profile. Godfather of steel
I
framing.
feel like we did that to him. He probably wasn't even that interested.
Yeah. What did I decide we were going to call him instead? He was getting called the Godfather, and I said, no, he should be. There's a different name.
I remember you saying it, but I don't remember what it was now.
Frick. What was it?
Master.
The Man of Steel.
Man of Steel.
Is that it?
Superman
He
of
should be
Steel.
the Man of Steel.
Yep.
Haney Construction, he'd be interested if they had that in common, right? Scott, we all want to date you and your steel framing.
That's a different app. That's called Grinder.
Ooh.
Different app.
Okay. Because you have to cut the steel with
You
the
have to
grinder.
grind it.
I mean, that's
See?
very punny.
Eh?
Deck Dog says he's 2 for 13 this year on hiring.
Good for you, buddy.
Maybe this episode should have been about hiring. become a thing.
I fired 2 guys this week.
Oh God.
Was that poor hiring though? Or
No, I don't think so. Like, so we interviewed them. They seemed energetic. They were like, yeah, man, I want to work and this is going to be so great. And it's just like, yeah, like sometimes the job's demanding and you have to carry a lot of stuff. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. That's okay. We'll be good with that. And like day 5, they were fighting. They were in the yard actually getting ready to fist fight. They told me, they were like, we're going to beat each other up. And I said, this is a true story. I said, then fight. And the guy who wins keeps his job. And the guy who loses goes home. And they were like, what? And I was like, yeah, see, you don't actually want to fight.
Yeah, if you're going to do
you want
it.
to talk about fighting. But so stop. Like, stop arguing and stop doing this and then just go to work. You have to spend 8 hours together moving deck boards around. You're at least 12 feet apart.
Yep.
Everybody on either end of the board, don't touch either. They did a delivery. They came back. They told me, the one guy told me they were throwing boards at each other. There was a cedar deck boards they were delivering. They said they were throwing them at each other. The one guy threatened to stab the other one. And then the homeowner sent me a picture of the pile of cedar. They threw it all in the backyard.
The homeowner sent you that picture.
Homeowner sent it to the contractor. Contractor sent it to me.
So earlier in the day, Wade texted me. He's like, I've only got 2 yard guys today because the other one called in sick and the other one, I don't know what happened.
He had the day off.
You already fired him or something.
No, he already had the day off.
I've only got 2 yard guys here and there's going to be a fist fight in the yard today.
Because they told me that.
Okay. And then he pops in later or sends me a picture later of this lumber pile that got delivered. And I was like, what the is that?
That was the delivery.
That's their delivery they did today. What do you mean? Why? Like you would have to make an effort to do that.
Right.
It sounds like they were throwing the boards at each other. That's how they ended up in that pile.
That's crazy.
But yet the framing components were all stacked up nice. And then just the cedar deck boards were all like,
throwing.
They hadn't gotten to a fight yet.
Not when they did the framing first.
They did the framing first.
And they had a little zest left.
So then I went to the job site I went and restacked that lumber. I was just like, I couldn't. There's just no way that you could leave that, right?
Right.
For a whole bunch of reasons. One, that customer chose to spend their money with us. They could put that money anywhere they want, and they chose to give it to us. And so
Yeah, but did they request boards to be stacked not like that though?
Yeah.
Did you ask for that service?
They probably did.
Did they ask for like fighting?
Did you ask for their
entertainment?
throwdown delivery?
Yeah, exactly.
We should put
The
that in.
ultimate throwdown delivery.
So it was just like, to me, what happened was the customer looked out their window and saw that the Ultimate Deck Shop didn't care about their $5,000.
100%.
And I was like, I'm really sorry. I'll be there in an hour when the store closes. I will come and restock that. And so I did. I went and restocked it. So I visited with the homeowners. They told me the one guy sat in the truck the whole time. Never even helped.
So
the other guy did it all by himself.
Someone lied.
They were both lying.
Because according to the guy sitting in the truck, he was the guy doing all the work. And the other guy was on his phone the whole time.
Yep. Weird,
Okay.
right? So anyways, I fired them. And the one guy was upset, was like, oh man, this is so bad. Like, I really like it here. I want to stay. And the other guy was like, I can't believe you're choosing him over me. And just so we're all clear, I didn't choose either of you. We've both gone. Everybody's fired.
Hey, guess what, guys? You fucked up.
If I have to do your job and my job, I'd rather know that at the start of the day, not the end of the day.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
See ya.
Yeah.
Never. So
goodness.
I'd pay extra for the ultimate throwdown delivery.
Right?
I think there's some guys that would be like, okay, we'll come, we'll deliver the boards, they get stacked properly, and then they put on the boxing gloves, a big padded mitts, and it's
And then
like,
they
whoa.
fight each other.
That should be the free delivery when people are like, oh, I thought I'm spending $800. I thought that'd be free.
Thought it came with free
Oh
delivery.
yeah, it can be free.
Yeah. You got to fight for it though.
Yeah.
We'll send our yard guy, you got to fight him.
You gotta fight.
And if
for
you
the
win-
right.
Free. And if you lose,
Yeah. Look who's taking the stuff off the truck.
Yeah.
The loser.
And he ain't gonna be happy about it.
That's right.
oh man.
Look how that ended up.
It is something, man. You can't run the business without them, but there are days you wish you didn't have them.
You could run the business without those ones.
And we are now.
They weren't helping anything. And they both took off, right? Didn't they both? They did that delivery and then they both went home or something?
One left, yeah. One
One
left
went
the
home?
premises,
No.
the other one I couldn't find.
No heads up, no like something happened, so I'm going home. Just
Walked
like,
in.
Poof, gone.
So I was talking to a customer, and he walked in, grabbed his flip-flops, and bounced. Had his steel toes on still. Left. So I texted him. I was like, did you quit? Nope, I'll be back tomorrow. Oh, okay.
That's not how that works.
Sounds good. Then I got the delivery picture later after that. And then I called him. I was like, yeah, I just got a picture of that delivery. How do you think that went for you guys? And then all the excuses.
Right.
How hard you worked. Anyways, we're a better company because we don't have those two people.
Jeez.
Well, that's for real.
Can you imagine? Like, can you, like, what goes through your head? Like, I don't, like, people will have disagreements. That's going to happen sometimes. Yep. But what kind of person is, like, why would you do that?
I've never gotten into a disagreement with someone that I've just decided that I'm going to fight them over work.
How could you do? Shane's right. I like, if I was that mad, he wasn't. It was a different customer.
Jeez, did he get one?
Oh, he was the customer that was in the store.
Oh,
Ryan was in the store and watched that guy walk out. But so I have certainly had some beefs with people that I work with. Like back in the day, I used to work on the drilling rig. Yeah. Jay and I have had a couple of
they fight.
Well, arguments, but then it's over, right?
Yeah.
But I like back when I used to work on the rigs, there was a lot of testosterone thrown around on rigs, and there were actual fist fights at work. I was never in one, but even at that one, I was disagreeing with the guy. I just left. I just left and went and work somewhere else. I didn't leave work.
Yeah.
I left the area.
Yeah.
And so I'll deliver the cedar, you deliver the treated, and we'll be good, right? I'll haul off this side of the truck, you haul off that side of the truck. Let's not talk. We don't have to be best friends on the way back either. You stay on your side of the truck, I'll stay on my side of the truck.
We both have a job and we're representing a business and other people, and like,
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I wish it would have been on videotape.
Me too, because I don't understand how you put I don't understand how you pile it like that. Like, you would have to make the effort to be like,
who are you throwing?
Hey, you want to F this pile up as much as possible? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Shoot. TC Dax has been on a job site with a nail gun fight. So
that'd be fun.
I'd watch that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I've shot things with a framing nailer before. I shot.
Yeah, you got to do it.
You got to do it.
Everybody's curious.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you do it?
Hey, do you think? I do think. I do. Yeah, I bet you it does.
You can stick that in the wall over there. Yeah. And then it's like, I'm going to stick that in that guy's leg. Sunk.
Yeah, right. And then it goes right through.
Nah, probably not. You got to be pretty close before it goes through.
Yeah. And then you drop the gun and be like, wasp just got me.
Yeah,
How you feeling? Yeah, something got me too. I saw it. It was big.
It was huge.
Anyway, first wasp bite I've seen that's left a drip of blood down your leg, actually. So that was interesting.
So we got some new people.
The Ultimate Fight Club.
Ultimate Fight Club. Deliveries to your backyard or front yard or wherever.
Yeah,
really.
You pay extra for the entertainment that
right.
ensues in the backyard.
Yeah.
Unfreaking real.
We only take a 10% on all the bets, so you can choose a guy and
wow,
whichever one.
Yeah, we might be onto something,
right? I think so.
Yeah. We used to go to
a mere, not a flesh wound. It's a mere flesh wound.
Yeah. We used to go to there was a place in Calgary when I was young called Rocky and Bullwinkle, or just Bullwinkles. But it was. Do you remember Rocky and Bullwinkle?
Yep.
Yes.
Hey, Rocky.
How was that again?
That was pretty good.
Do it again.
Hey, Rocky. They used to have a restaurant there that was Rocky and Bullwinkle themed. They had little puppets and they had games. It's kind of like, I don't know, Fuddruckers / Chuck E. Cheese / whatever, but all Rocky and Bullwinkle themed. And there was entertainment while you ate, and we should be offering us. And I miss that place. We should offer that here too. Entertainment while you have your deck delivered.
While you wait,
yeah,
you can watch these two guys duke it out.
Unreal.
At least no one had a knife.
Apparently,
no, but the one guy,
apparently
good thing, because the one guy was threatening to stab the other one, according to the one guy, which sounds like the guy that said that is the bullshitter that wasn't actually helping and was sitting in the truck. So who knows? But anyway, interesting, guys. What do you got for us today, Brace, as far as as if it hasn't been useless already?
Oh, I'm going to give you 5 of the best Yo Mama jokes of all time.
Oh, I love
Here we go.
Jokes. They're so funny.
This will get good now.
Okay. What are you guys feeling? Let's go with Yo Mama is so poor, the ducks throw bread at her.
And it's not healthy for her either.
Right? Yo Mama's teeth are so yellow, I can't believe it's not butter.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yo Mama's so short, you can see her feet on her driver's license.
Zing, pretty small little pitcher in there. You have to have a ratio of 1-to-1 to fit in the pitcher like that. That's what makes it funny, Bryce.
That is what makes it
She
funny.
would have to be short and wide.
Right.
So then you would see her feet at the bottom of the
Short
pitcher.
and wide. Yo Mama's so scary. The government moved Halloween to her birthday. Yo Mama's so lazy. She stuck her nose out the window and let the wind blow it.
Ooh.
And then
Borders on dad jokes. Right
I like
there,
this
too.
one. Yo Mama's so poor. Nigerian princes wire her money.
I just saw that one. I was like, I hope he does that one because that one's pretty good.
I think that's a good little burn section.
I like the your mama's so nasty. They used to call them jumpolines till your mama bounced on one.
I saw that one.
Oh boy, Northridge wants the Simcoe news, but
We don't have the Simcoe news.
we've learned our lesson on that one. Nothing happens in Simcoe,
They probably
especially now that the pandemic is winding down.
got some COVID cases
Yep.
there, and no doubt there's a new tax on a sidewalk.
Yeah.
And
Some bird in the
When did we do the Simcoe news? Was that during pandemic? Do you think it was?
it was at the very start.
Yep.
Was it unjust? Like there was nothing to do there and nothing was happening because it was on lockdown.
No. We
it was
started
all
it.
drug busts and stuff.
Yeah,
I
we
thought.
started it before
Right.
the pandemic, and then when it got into the pandemic, all the news feed that we had was like case count. But
Right. Enough of that.
there was about like at the end of 2019, we were talking about taxing the park and taxing a sidewalk,
Yeah, you had to pay a tax to walk through the
the park,
park.
which is so
That's really good.
classic. That's really good.
Yeah.
Because you probably didn't pay any on your property to get the
No.
park built before.
No. That's for sure. So the topic for today, and we didn't plan this out because we're burnt out. We just we're 132 episodes in where we have achieved a level of burnout. And so the topic is a burnout. You a burnout?
I feel like
You hire burnouts?
I feel like I was burnt out the last couple of weeks. You bet.
Yeah. So that's what we're talking about today, and so I was serious. We're actually going to talk about burning out because it's a real thing in this industry. Because this industry is so hot and cold, you are unbelievably busy for an amount of time, and then you're not at all. And so there's stress on both ends of that.
Yeah, and there's just like, so as a contractor, there's a ton of pressure on you with people calling you to do quotes. So maybe you're not actually physically busy working, but you're managing getting to people's places, and you're managing trying to do estimates, and you're managing the pressure of emails where people are sending, being like, "Where's my quote? What's going on? Are you getting that back to me?" Like,
Yeah. And then there's the added pressure of the situation of the building materials world right now, which is like adding stress to everybody's plate. The homeowner is stressed out about it. The contractor is certainly stressed out about it. The dealer is stressed out about it. The vendors are stressed out. Like everybody's stressed by the current situation that COVID brought us, which was materials shortages, price increases, delays on getting stuff, all sorts of challenges have been presented, and
high demand.
Yeah, huge increase in
ridiculous
demand.
high demand. And so now, it was stressful enough as it was before all of this, when spring hit and the phone starts ringing 30 times a day and everybody wants quotes and they want you there tomorrow and they want the deck built next week and so on and so forth. That's stressful enough. But to then on top of that be like, okay, so whatever, you close the job and they're like, okay, we want to get started, and you go to order the materials and the materials are not there, no idea when they might be there, and have gone up 20% since you did the quote. Like there's all these like things at play. So it's causing a lot of burnout. We're seeing it with our own people.
The part that's crazy is that people then get mad that the material's not there. And it's like, well, that's not our fault. I'd really like to give that to you. I wish that I could.
Right.
In a pile like this.
Here's an example of the free delivery.
Right. I
Would you
really
like
just
to
wanna
pay for the
throw
$125?
it into
This
your
is how they
yard.
delivered it. Listen, you got it. Be happy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Typically don't answer those calls. The thing that I really don't like, that I really dislike, is when our vendors or our suppliers tell us we have no answer. And when are the fence boards coming? We have no answer. Can you give me something? I want a wild ass guess. And it's like, nope, we're not giving you a guess either. You get nothing.
Yeah.
Homeowners then don't believe that. They're like, what? You're lying to me. I'm not lying to you. I have nothing to gain. Nobody's telling me. So
Yeah, there's nothing I would like more than to have them and to give them to you and to have you pay for them. Yeah. I'm not trying to hold out on you. I'm not trying to save them for anybody. I'm not trying to. I don't like how it looks in my yard more when there's more. I'm not trying to dupe you. If I don't have answers to give you, I'm not going to lie to you. And some places might try to BS and just tell you what you want to hear. But God, that turns out real well. If you tell somebody something and then it doesn't happen, so it's stressful right now. People are the expectations are high. Everybody's trying to get things done fast. Summer is upon us. So people are antsy to get going.
No, it's not.
Spring is upon us.
Summer is not upon us.
It's May long weekend, and everybody's like so screaming hot right now in our province. Yeah, typically you don't start building until May.
It snowed yesterday.
Right.
There was a few flakes that came down. There was a little,
And people are like, they're legit losing their mind.
I can't believe I don't have my deck for this summer. It's spring, sir.
For the last 10 years, you haven't built before May long weekend. That doesn't happen in Saskatchewan. Yeah. So settle down.
Yep. Things usually start ramping up at the end of April for us. Mm-hmm. And then May long is the first kind of like, that's when spring starts for many people. That's when you plant your garden. That's when you do your first camping trip. That's when you start, your grass might need mowed for the first time. Like not a whole lot happens here outside. Like the weather's been nice for a bit, but people wait for that first long weekend and then it's go time. Mm-hmm. It's like the kickoff to summer. Yeah. And boy, oh boy, it happened a lot earlier than this year than it normally did. Dud.
And so I think there's a little bit of pressure because people know that there's going to be shortages of material. So they're trying to get that, like they're trying to get ahead of the curve, but you're not ahead of the curve. You're in it. You're in the middle of it.
So this whole situation has compounded the stress this year. Mm-hmm. For one, like I did all the ordering over the winter for stuff to land in the spring here. And
when do you think spring is, Shane? In December when you're ordering your material, when do you think spring is?
Well, a lot of vendors are like, we won't be able to deliver this till April, and I'd be like, that's fine. I don't want it till April. I don't want it to land in February or March because then you're going to want me to pay for it in 30 or 60 days after that or 90 days after that, and I wouldn't have a chance of selling it. I'd like for cash flow reasons for it to land just before I need it.
May,
end of April, early May.
Early April would be great, and like. March is early, but I'll take it if you need. So we didn't plan for anything to sell because it never does. I was saying to a buddy yesterday, we went out for lunch. He's like, how are things going? Like, what's the store doing? Blah, blah, blah. Is it busy this year? All this stuff. And I was like, our March was absolutely bonkers. But I said at the same time, if you would have asked me, if you asked me to bet my house that we would do, and I gave him a number that was a quarter of what we actually did. I said, if you asked me to bet my house, if we would sell more than a quarter of what we actually did, I'd be like, yep, I'll take that. We've never done even close to that. That would be over double what we've ever done in a March before. Mm-hmm. So that's a pretty safe bet for me. I'm 5 years in. There's no chance that a March is going to do that number. And then we did 4 times the number that I was throwing out at him. Like we did 10 times what our goal was.
Right. I'm going to write a book called 10X.
Yeah.
It's already been written.
If you listen to the Grant Cardone, he's like 10X everything. We like took that super literally in March.
Yep.
And 10X'd it. So that added to stress for people because a lot of people are just getting in. They were trying to beat the lumber increase, which we had, like we were talking about. We were like, it's going up April 1st. Like what had actually happened is the prices had already gone up. And we were simply saying, we're going to hold our retail price until April 1st. But we know that because we have a little bit of material on the ground that we can sell, we're willing to sell at the current price. Mm-hmm. So we're going to hold this, but shop now kind of thing. And we did a couple Instagram stories and maybe a post or something like, hey, heads up, to try to say for other people's benefit. It wasn't that I wanted to do 10X in March when I'm not staffed appropriately and I don't have stuff yet. I was doing it so that we could be like, it was an honest move to say like, hey, if you're planning on buying a deck in mid-April anyway, buy it 3 weeks earlier and save yourself some money.
Right.
And
I would rather sell that material at the new price when I bought it for the old price.
I was like, just stop with the stories. Don't tell anybody.
Don't tell
just sell this for more later.
Lumber is not going up.
But it was just part of our we try to run our business like two good guys that think like customers. And it's like, well, I would like the heads up that if I would have bought my deck a couple weeks ago, I could have saved a bunch of money. Mm-hmm. So we did that, blew up, didn't have a lot of material. So anyways, now what's happened in our own business here is that we've got a lot of great people as part of our team. They're stressed right now because, and this happens every year, but it happens in late June which is good time for people to kind of get to like some sort of burnout stage, because July kind of levels out and everybody can kind of get their bearings, and you go on a summer trip and you take a break and then you come back, and July and August, like they level out a little bit so you can kind of catch up and then get on top of things again.
That's how customers are typically, right? Because also typically kids are out of school. So you get July and August off. And so you'd have a family holiday or vacation somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so the deck building season slows in July and August, which is really good for our staff and us. Like, let's be honest, to like, we need that too. Right. Yep. And so when it slows a little bit, it doesn't have to come off completely. It's just got to slow down from the pace it was in May and June.
Mm-hmm.
And it usually does. This year, that pace was March and April.
2 months long.
And May. March and April and part of May. And so now the long weekend is here, and I'm kind of hopeful. We've had some poor weather. Like Regina's getting rain and snow. Saskatoon's like 4 or 5 degrees out. It's cool there, and they're talking snow. This long weekend, I think, hopefully what happens is people miss the window to get their deck built before May long, and then they can slow down and take a breather, and which will help us as like it'll help our whole team.
Yep.
But yeah, because we're trying to juggle some staff that's like, maybe you should take a day off. You want a day off? Like, you could
take
slow
a day off.
down,
Yep.
guys.
Because then when people get
a long season,
people get amped up like that, they start chewing at each other a little bit. They start taking then you start making some mistakes because you're amped up and you're not thinking super clearly, and then things are happening. You try to make something happen, and then you make a mistake, and then it compounds it, and then the customer gets mad, and then the material's not here. It's just like, of course it's a stressful situation. But like we said, usually you get a little bit of a breather in middle of, but unfortunately right now, this has been going on for 2.5 months, and there's no breather.
Yep.
We're at the part where it usually starts to get busy right now, where it starts to get crazy. Usually that week before May long is when it's finally really starts to, like, you're in the heat of it.
Yeah.
And they've been in the heat of it down there for 2.5 weeks. Or 2.5 months, sorry.
yeah. So burnout is something that happens. You got to pay attention to it. You got to take care of it yourself. You know what I mean? You got to make sure that everybody around you is okay.
What do you do, Wade? How do you like, so there's
play golf.
like you're working a bunch right now up in Saskatoon trying to get ahead of things. I'm at a spot right now where I'm leveled out again. I was
But you were
going
busy
super
early.
stupid early trying to get ready for the season.
Yeah, because so we talked about that in January and February when you were building the website. You were putting in just like, they were ridiculous hours. Like, I saw some of the time cards and was like, holy smokes, man.
Yeah. And then you burn out at some point, right?
Yeah.
You get in the rhythm for a while.
Yeah.
And then you burn out.
But that's like, I've always been the guy that's a little more operational between the two of us. And so once the season starts, then I just work. It's just like, I just carry boards. And so right now it's 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning till 10 or 11 at night. And I just do that because that's what has to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also in Saskatoon where we have less people there. We have less staff there. And so those things have to happen.
But what do you do so when you're getting stressed, like you love golf, I'm assuming that's one of your things you do to kind of de-stress.
So
but
golf
what else works for you?
Yeah, golf's really good because you can, like, it is, so for me, golf is all consuming. It completely takes my mind off of everything except that shot or that walk or that, like, so, boy, I don't know what else. There's always the typical answer where like people work out or they go to the gym but I've never ever done that. I've never enjoyed the gym. So, probably walk. I have a dog. I take my dog for a walk.
Do you have your dog back up in Saskatoon now?
Yeah, different dog.
A different dog?
Yeah.
The dog, yeah.
Like I have Chip, the bloodhound.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's with me. Oh yeah, because he was with mom and dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I have him again. I didn't get the first dog.
You were thinking the other dog.
No, I was thinking Chip.
Max, yeah.
But he was obviously thought I meant.
You got your dog
Max.
back? Or was
No, sorry.
I didn't get
back from your parents.
Back.
Yeah, I got Chip back from parents. Yeah.
Yeah, because my dad had said something about like haven't seen Deb out walking the dog lately.
Yeah,
It's a dog
she did a
with
great
Wade in
job.
Saskatoon. I was like, oh, it very well could be. I know he was down here. Maybe we took the dog back.
A couple weeks ago, I picked him up.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, he's good. So, we just walk. That's always a good way to do it. I don't play video games. I want to play video games. I bought an Xbox. I played a couple times. And then I bought golf. I bought golf. And then I bought...
It's great for when the sun goes down. You can...
And then I bought hockey. And it's like, yeah, I'll play this. And I played like 3 games. I was like, yeah.
You should get an Oculus Quest 2 and then download the Top Golf, and we can golf together at night. It's really good, actually.
So I would do that because I love gadgets.
Because I sent you a message the night I bought Top Golf. I was like, oh, dude, like you need to buy an Oculus now. It feels super real. Like, so funny story playing it. And before we lose this comment, Precision Construction says, holy hell, golf lowers your stress?
Yeah, it really does. Right. For me, it does. Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
It's because I hit him so pure all the time, Scott.
Is that what it is?
If he went so shitty, it'd be better.
So I honestly haven't played it in quite some time, but I'm bad for like downloading a new game on Oculus, playing it for 10 minutes, and then never picking it up again because it's just like, by the time I get a chance to actually do it, my kids are in bed, my wife's in bed, it's 9:30 and I'm burnt. I don't feel like getting up and bouncing around, jumping up and down a whole bunch. But I
you don't have to play Dance Dance Revolution, man.
I played the golf one, and it's really cool. The mechanics of it are super accurate feeling, to the point that I've done this a couple times. I took a drive, hit it, and then I know that and watching my shot, and I know that I have went to go grab the club. I would hit and then went to go like this.
Oh yeah.
Kind of grab the shaft with my other hand after the hit, hit it, and then be sit and kind of watch. And it's right.
Yep.
Right.
Not
that
a real
club isn't
club.
real. I'm not actually holding anything. You're holding the control in the one hand, but so it's you got to get into it. It's fun.
So that's it.
That's it.
And I watch TV. So I will watch sports. I'll watch TV shows. I don't actually watch them. I put them on and then just kind of stare at the TV.
Yeah. Zone out. I'm kind
of what was the movie like?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I'm kind of like that right now too. I'll still work the odd night here and there right now, but more nights than not, I'm I don't feel like going to bed yet. I'm not that tired, but I don't feel like hauling out the laptop. Because if I do haul out the laptop, I'm up till 2 a.m.
Right.
Once I get down and sit down, then I'm wide awake and I'll be zoned in until I have to tell myself to go to bed. And so I don't want to do that every night either. But what I don't mind doing is throwing on usually a Sports Center or whatever game is on at the time and just have it on, not necessarily watching it because I'm probably dicking around on my phone instead. Yep. Unless the Raptors game, will pay a bit more attention or something, but just putting the game on and just laying back and chilling. And because there's no kids talking to me, my wife's in bed. If I do that, my brain is occupied enough with the two things going on that I'm not thinking a bunch about work stuff at that time. I've already committed at that point my brain to be not working tonight. Yeah. And I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise all day I'm oh, what do I have to do tonight when I pull the laptop out? But as soon as I make the conscious decision to be you're not pulling it out. You're just going to lay on the couch and be a lazy ass tonight. And then I enjoy that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That ping pong table has been a great distressor, to be quite frank. At the end of the day, we haven't done this all week this week.
No, we haven't done that this week.
Usually at the end of the day, Bryce was off for a couple of days. Yep. Tuesday we were working on the patio.
Working on the patio.
Took it, and Monday I don't know what was happening then, but haven't played it much. But a lot of times at the end of the day, it's 5 o'clock, grab a beer, play a few games of ping pong, and it's just a good little unwind at the end of the day, and kind of just the day is over now. You can stop thinking about what you're working on and whatever. So
and sometimes Shane and I need to figure a few things out during the middle of the day.
Yeah. There's often
we play some ping pong.
There has been the noon the Monday nooner. Yeah. The nooner matches. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I find that helps just day to day because I'm also not the gym guy. I wish I was. I really do wish I was. I wish I was in great shape. Yeah, I wish I was in great shape and that was
you wish you were a little bit taller? You wish you were a bit taller?
Wish I didn't fit in a driver's license photo completely. Yeah. But because you know what? I actually, if I get into these little bouts of being active and doing things, I don't hate it.
Right.
But it's just, I've never done it long enough for it to become who I am. I've never done it long. My wife's the opposite. She lives for it. I struggled. When I think about I should start working out, it's what's the minimum I can do? that's where my head goes, right? 3 days a week, right? 20 minutes, is that good? Her is 7 days a week.
Right.
And sometimes twice.
You need maximum efficiency.
Yeah, I do. But she enjoys that. She doesn't enjoy sports. I enjoy sports. She enjoys that. She's working out. I don't know. It's just different brains. But I wish that I was more interested in it because I would like to make time and be in shape and feel, better and healthier and whatever else. But it just ain't me.
I'd like to feel healthier.
I would like to feel healthier. I'm telling you, man. I'm there. I'm 40 now.
You're 40.
Heart attacks are a real thing at my age when you eat like I do.
Wade told me today, he was my knee just hurts.
It does.
Yeah, you're over 25.
No, but
it's just shitty now.
But real, it hurts a lot. I have to. It's to the point where I'm going to go get somebody to look at it because it's like I can't bend over properly. Like when I squat down, this is how I know it's a thing.
Happy birthday, buddy.
I try to like squat down to put my ball marker behind my ball when I'm golfing and my knee hurts. And it's like, this is not good. It's affecting my golf game.
Yep.
And so it cracks, like it pops and cracks. And there's something not lined up there right now.
Yep.
So, and I don't know when it happened. Just randomly one day, it was like not working
Over
properly.
time. Everything you're describing is just age. Like Louis C.K. says, it's like that skit where he goes to the doctor because his knee's all buggered up and he's 40.
Yeah.
And the doctor's like, he's like, so what's, oh yeah, your knee's in pretty rough shape there. Okay, well, what's the plan, doc? Are you booking surgery? Oh,
yeah,
no.
Because he makes an analogy about how like sports guys go in, their knee is completely trashed, and the doctor's like, "Oh yeah, we'll save that." They rebuild your whole knee, right? Yeah. And so he walks in.
Yeah, he's like, "So what's the plan? Are we gonna fix this?" Right? He's like, "Oh no, no, we're not gonna fix it." What do you mean? Well, it's just shitty now. You're not exactly going to the pros.
You got a shitty knee.
You just have a shitty knee now. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've been living that
Yeah.
a little bit. But
So what do you guys do for helping your employees?
hold on before we get to that question, though. Great question.
Oh, okay.
But yourself, Bryce, I feel like you have a better head about yourself than we do.
For burnout?
Just for like you're managing your life in general.
Try, yeah.
In general. No, but like, I feel like you're a bit more like self-aware of, maybe your mental health side of the game or whatever. So what are some things you do to get, you're organized. You don't let it get as bad as we do.
I think one of the biggest things is like you try and do something daily to de-stress yourself and like schedule it. Don't like you're like, some days you choose not to work and some days you don't choose not to work. And it's all like up in the air of when it's going to happen.
I always really struggle with double negatives. Don't not choose to work.
Don't not choose to work.
What does that mean? Oh, wait, no, some days he works. Yeah,
some days he works and some days he doesn't. But like if you were to schedule that every day, even an hour, it would be better than doing it 2 hours one day and 0 hours the next day.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. That's not how I am at all.
Right.
Mine is like,
you're just like spur of the moment.
I'm on for like 14 days in a row, as much as you can do for 14. And then it's like, and then I sleep on the 15th day.
And
whole day.
That feels like burnout.
Yeah.
100%. And so we've talked about this in the podcast before. I'm a man of extremes.
You are.
We've talked about this in most aspects. We talked about the analogy of the car and like either the AC's on full blast because it's hot in here.
Yes.
Or the heater's on full blast because it's cold in here.
It's cold in here.
Yeah.
There's no like moderation of it. It's
exactly.
like get it cooled off or cooled off as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And so that's how I live my work life too. It's like work 18 hours a day for 2 months. And then when I burn out, then not after 5 o'clock.
Do you know what I just thought was that is Santa Claus.
What?
He works.
Oh yeah.
For a very short period of time every year, insanely.
I would really like Santa Claus's schedule.
Right?
Yeah.
Would you?
Mm-hmm.
Give her beans on Christmas Eve and then you're done?
1 day a year?
Hell yeah, let's sign me up.
I'd even do it for the money I make right now.
Yeah, no problem. Right?
That's funny.
So
I agree that
I schedule things.
Do you?
Really? Yeah, I try to.
Like in your personal life?
Yeah.
On
Like
your
every
calendar?
day.
Or just in your head?
Calendar in my head.
Okay.
Like,
But
I try
you've
and
got
get
other
up
stuff
early
going on
and-
too, though.
I got lots of other stuff.
That you
going
must
on.
and so you must be doing that after hours.
Yes.
Either that or he's doing it here. Like that's
that
awkward.
too. You know, right? Whatever.
But like you go home, like because you've got another side business or
Yes.
thing you're in,
Hustle.
and
It's
probably
called
and your
it's called a
wife does
hustle?
too.
My wife
That you're
does too.
involved in.
Yes.
So there's a lot of management going on there.
I think part of my side hustle is a good de-stressor for me.
I guess so.
I get to drink wine.
So do you find that that's like
A
your
coping
passion?
mechanism?
Oh,
Are we causing
whoa.
this? But is that because you're passionate about that, so that it almost feels like you're enjoying
enjoy
doing
it.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also enjoy like business and stuff a lot. So
Yeah.
So like that maybe for you too. Like when you sit down and do work at night, maybe it's not super stressful because you're not doing it at the office where someone's right on you
It's
all
usually
the time.
well, it's usually very productive time. That's for damn sure. The
Right.
time at night that I do work is just work.
That's way
and you
more
get so much
helpful.
done in a few hours than you would do in a whole day here.
I
And I
feel
generally, sorry.
I feel like those things are not always enjoyable. Some of it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But some of it is not. Like to go home and then to have to do 2 more estimates or have to do 3 more estimates is like, well, that's not fun.
Yeah,
Nobody
right.
wants to do that, but you have to do it. But Shane does a really good job of breaking it up with different facets or faucets. It's like he'll do design some nights,
Types of tasks.
and then he'll work on the website some night. And
I was just going to say that's how I do things sometimes, because sometimes I just don't feel like getting into a creative design aspect. And so there's some nights that I enjoy doing the ordering,
Right.
and that's not fun work, but I can do that without like having to worry about getting too creative. It's just crunching numbers and it's just entering things. It's like, it's monotonous. I don't want to do that all the time, but there's some times when that's all I feel like doing.
Yeah.
Because the design stuff is like, you got to get in a certain headspace and you don't just crack that off half an hour at a time. It's like, I feel like I need to really get myself into that sometimes. And so the other problem with that too is that when I put that off for a bit, it's off until I'm ready to be full in on it.
Right.
And then I get customers who are like, we're wondering where our design's at. And it's like, yes, I know I'm trying to get there, but this isn't the kind of thing that I can just be like, oh, I've got 20 minutes. I'll dabble in the design. No. This requires me sitting down, rereading all of your notes, getting back into that creative headspace, and then planning it out. Like I need a day or a full night to commit to doing that. And then once I'm in it, then I can cruise. That's what I tell a lot of people a lot of times too, is like, I haven't had much chance to work on this lately, but tonight I'm going to sit down, I'm going to get into it, and then things are going to move fast. Because once I'm in it, then I want to keep moving. So it's like, you're going to get an email from me tomorrow, and I'm going to want feedback right away so I can keep going before I lose it again. And then it's like, then you'll have a render done by tomorrow night.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
did we answer your question about what do we do for our staff?
Nope,
No.
not yet.
But I was one more point I wanted to make is like breaking that monotony in your normal job is I think is a big de-stressor too.
Yep.
Right? You're stuck doing the same thing all day.
Yeah, so I don't mind. Like I say that the other night I had to go out and restack those
Yeah,
boards.
you liked that. That's what I was
don't-
thinking.
Like I don't hate that.
Every
So
once
there's
in a
a-
while you like it.
There's a few reasons I like that. One, it's like now those people know that I care. And so it's a good feedback into the community. Cause I do care. 2, it's like, I like to visit with customers once in a while about their job and it's also a break from the store. Like going and moving deck boards is a lot like going to the gym. You just like pick heavy things
Just
up
go
and set
do
them
it.
down.
Yeah.
And it's like drive around in the forklift and move some stuff around. Like that's not the worst job, you know?
There's no thinking about it. I mean, there's
There's
like
a
a
little,
little, but
yeah,
it's not
but it's
like
not-
doing estimates.
Nope.
Yep.
Just go do it.
Different change of scenery for sure.
Yeah. So I don't mind that stuff. Like to actually just boots on the ground and work a little bit. Right?
And that's
So-
like, I'm honestly looking forward a little bit to Sunday, Monday, because Wade and I have a date planned. And so
it's a 2-day date.
Ooh.
That's
2-day
what
date.
happens when you take time off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Set up the
What
camera.
do you guys got planned?
Well, if only JC could drive a forklift, hey, you guys can hang out for 2 days.
Yeah. Come on, babe, let's go. No, we acquired some more yard space up in Saskatoon this year, but a lot of our product was showing up before the fence was moved and we had access to it. And so it just kind of got plopped down. And so with a new...
It looked a lot like that delivery, actually.
yeah. With the new yard configuration, we had to relay it out and plan out what was going where. And it's just like the guys, well, you heard who we had working there.
Yeah.
They weren't going to do it.
Well, and you can't. You also can't because it's like the trucks are coming in and orders are going out and you don't have time. And then every once in a while you'll have somebody roll into the yard and they actually want to pick stuff up. So we're doing it on the long weekend because the store is closed for 2 days and we can literally haul that whole yard out and then restack it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And when the guys come back to work, they've already told me, they were like, I can't wait to come back to work to Tuesday.
It'll be
They're like, I'm
amazing.
so excited to see this yard when it's all done. Like it'd be so nice.
You should just, throw it in a pile.
I'm going to.
All in the middle.
Here it is, guys.
All in one spot.
Yeah, that'd be good. So I'm looking forward to actually doing that because it'll be a chance. It's for the most part mindless work. The mind part is done. The mind part was like me sitting in front of SketchUp and planning the yard out, what colors are going where and what dimensions are going where, and does this all work? And are we wide enough for the forklift lanes and can a truck turn around here? And all that crap is done. Now it's just like get in the forklift, grunt a few times, put stuff in place, like in spots. And so I'm kind of looking forward to just doing 2 days of that.
Yeah.
Not thinking too much. If I can get the stuff that's been bugging me for a while done before Saturday. Yeah, right? That's what's weighing in my mind. Got to get some of that design funk back in here. But
So it sounds like you guys don't really have a plan for burnout for yourselves, though.
I'll admit that. I'm not great at dealing with the burnout. I go until I do burnout, and then I scale back a bit. And so I'll know when that happens because I'll no longer feel like staying up all night and working, and I'll be shitty with my wife and kids.
Right.
I'll just be like grumpy and like tired and whatever else. And it's like, and I might not even attribute that to the burnout, but that's no doubt that's what it is. It's like, okay, dude, like now my 14-year-old the other day asked me, he's like, and I was sitting right there. I don't exist to him. We've discovered this, but he's like, Mom, how does Dad stay up till 2 a.m. and then get up and go to work every day? Like, how does he stay up till 2 or 3 and then he gets up at 6:30 and then like works? And she's like, I have no idea. I don't know how he does that because my wife's in bed by like 9:30 and she gets up at 5, but she gets a good amount of sleep. The 14-year-old, he would sleep all day if he could.
You respond with, because I have to.
Because that's just like,
that's my option.
that's what I do. Yeah. So I don't, Bryce. I don't manage and prevent burning out. I just willingly burn out, and then I work 9 hours a day instead of 15, and then do that for a while. And then at some point here, there'll be a moment when I get enough shit on my plate where I was like, well, I have to stay up tonight, and I'll get into that sleep cycle of being up till 2 a.m. And it's like, okay, at 9:30, I won't be tired anymore, like I am right now, currently in my life. I'll be full of piss and vinegar at 9 o'clock. Like, time to go.
Right.
So I think that I'm probably somewhere between you two as far as like managing. So I do a pretty good job of like every couple months making sure I get a few days away. But when I'm here, I'm here. And if I have to go in on a Sunday, that's fine. But typically I try to make sure that I can get away for 2 or 3 days from the store, from like everywhere. And so on Sundays I'll golf. I'll try to not use my phone as much. But when I'm around, when I'm in Regina or Saskatoon, I'm kind of available. But at the start of June, I have a fly-in fishing trip planned, and I'll be gone for 4 days, and I'll be like gone.
Right.
And then sometime in the fall, probably like September-ish, I'll likely try to look to disappear again for a few days. And there, like, hunting happens in September, so there'll be like, again, into the wilderness with no phone and do some hunting. Yeah. So that's kind of how that goes.
I think one of the biggest things that like people don't realize though is like, would you treat your business the same way? Like, would you not prepare for things that you know could happen?
Yeah. Have you been here?
Sorry, what do you mean by that though?
Well, it's like,
so you know that the business is going to fall apart in 2 years? Would you keep grinding the same path? Would you keep doing the same thing you're doing if you knew that it was going to fall apart in a bit? Because you know you're going to burn out. You know that if you keep going like this, you're going to burn out. So then why don't you start right now?
Preventative medicine is always better than
extremes, Bryce. A matter of extremes.
So that's the old adage of wellness versus illness theory, right? And so in North America, we have a very much an illness society.
Yeah,
we treat illnesses,
sick.
Everybody's sick, and so we treat the sickness. And there are different cultures that deal with wellness, and it's like eat healthy and be healthy, and then you don't have to treat the illness, right? And
then
so
you're not sick.
I'm aware of that concept.
So I believe that this year I feel more comfortable with the idea of taking a bit more time for me and my family this summer than I ever have before, because I've managed to, aside from very recently, but I think we've solved the problem, remove myself from the day-to-day activities of having to, like, I'm not required to be on the sales floor anymore.
Right.
As we're sitting up here and the bell's going off, ding, 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 ding. They both know we're here. And it's like, no.
But I have confidence in the team we have here now that I know if I take a week off, everything's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not worried at all. It'll be all just fine. And I've never felt that confidence before. So for me to leave before, like if Wade is around, fine. But if we were both gone, it was like, oh boy. And so I feel more okay with that. So they're like, for example, on Tuesday, like I was driving to work and I came down Victoria Avenue and I drove by Scar Street and I saw patios open and it was going to be a beautiful day and it was going to be 30 above and yesterday was beautiful and I didn't take advantage of that. And I was like, I drove by Scar Street thinking like, frick, like there's going to be a bunch of lucky sons of bitches sitting on patios today because we're allowed to again. For the context of the people, we haven't been allowed. Restaurants been closed for, I don't know.
They were open on Monday.
They opened Monday, and the weather was beautiful. So I drove by that thing and like having some envy, being like, frick.
Until we
like there's some people that are going to get to go sit out there. And then between driving by it and getting to work, I was like, well, I could just go work there. What's the difference? I sit up in my office and on a laptop, I can take the laptop to that place.
Right.
Rolled in. Bryce, do we have anything we have to meet about? So we did that. I did some ordering from the patio and it was amazing. Like, I feel like that was a good little mental wellness check.
Yeah.
Sitting out in the sun and enjoying like some fresh air, and like we had a drink and a burger and did some work. And I think that was really good for me that day. So.
Earlier you had asked how we manage
how do you manage it for your employees,
with the employees. I try really, so in Saskatoon, I'll speak to Saskatoon because I'm there. That store is a little earlier in its days. It's in year 2. And so Shane and I have already lived through that. And I know what that's like. I have a really good idea of what Carly's going through because I was there. I did that. He feels a ton of pressure. So I try really hard to make sure that it's like at the end of the day, I'm telling him, go home. Like, just stop. It's a deck. Right. And it's like, I know that you want to get it done, and I know that it's important to you and it's important to the people, but you have to stop. You have to go. We try to bring lunches in and just lighten the mood and be like, no, like show them that we care. I'll ask questions. I'll be like, how are things? Do you want to talk? Does anybody want to talk? You know what I mean? Come in the office. We close the door. It'll be fine.
Hey, you with the knife and the board over your head. Yeah. You want to chat about it, or you good right now?
Want to talk about your feelings?
You want to fight that guy? Just do it.
Just
do it.
Get it over with. We'll chat after. Hurry up.
Yeah. Anyways, I try to take on a little bit more than I probably should because I can see that some of the staff are like when they start to struggle, it's like, that's okay. This is not your business. I get it. I'll maybe put that estimate on my plate. I'll do it. And it's like, well, you already got lots on your plate. And it's like, I know, like, I know I do, but I knew that going in. So you maybe didn't know that coming in, when you applied, it wasn't, you get to work 11 hours a day, right? Woo, right. Fun. Yeah, woo.
Welcome.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There's been like, I feel like I have a pretty good, we can all see it from externally, and I'm sure everybody sees it, but like you could tell things were starting to get a little tense around here. When Fraser's coming upstairs and he's worked up and Juanita's worked up and everybody's worked up and everybody's kind of at each other a little bit, and normally things are gelling really well and all these people are friendly and everything else, and now people are getting a little bit worked up, and I could tell that people needed a break or something needed to change, whatever. And then it kind of like, we had a customer call one day directly to me and explained to me what happened with one of our staff one day, and it was like, yep, that's shitty. That I really apologize for that. I'll make this right, kind of thing. But I'm not surprised.
Right. Yeah.
I'm surprised that happened, but I know why that happened because I've seen it building over the last few weeks. And so I think we're in the middle of trying to fix the problem. I think the biggest thing is to like, how can we alleviate people's stress? What's causing it? What's causing the stress? What's within our control?
Yep.
So I can't make product get here that's still sitting in China.
Right.
Or whatever. Like, there's just some things that are out of our hands. But what's causing the stress? Well, the stress is being caused. One of the biggest things is, we're a little bit understaffed on the sales floor. And so what's that causing? Well, that's causing Fraser a lot of stress for Fraser because he's down there trying to hold that show by himself, like with Dale. But Dale's still relatively new. He's getting up to speed, but like there's a lot on Fraser's plate right now.
Yep.
And so he could use some more time off. And we're open 6 days a week, so we basically have 2 full-time salespeople down there trying to cover 6 days. And like in no scenario can we have one salesperson on the floor on one day. It's way too busy. And so they take a day off. So then it's me or Juanita covering, and we're open for 10 hours a day. So that's more than a full shift too. And so then Juanita was getting called down to cover the 7 to 9 shift. Okay, well, that's taking her away from the stuff that she's already overwhelmed trying to get done herself. So she's downstairs covering for Fraser and Dale because they can't work 11 hours a day, 6 days a week. And then I'm down there covering them, and then my stuff's building up, and Juanita's falling further behind. And it's like this little cog in the wheel that's missing right now, that we're a little bit short-staffed on the sales side, is causing a ripple effect through everybody. And it's getting everybody wound up and backed up.
Crazy how easy that is to fix, right?
That's your choke point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like, well, what's the solution? It's like, well, we need to hire somebody down there. It's like, well, that causes headaches too. Hiring a brand new salesperson to go into this type of environment where it's very high pace, high pressure, lots to know, tons to know, both from a product perspective and the systems that we use. There's a lot to download.
Yep.
So in this case, we're going to make a shift as of Monday. We've talked to everybody. Everybody's going to shift around. We're going to move some people instead of bringing new people in. We had some people that were maybe kind of doubling up on a job, and somebody that actually does sales really well that we can kind of move around and help alleviate, and think everybody took it really well. Everybody's like, yep, that sounds great. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. And now Juanita can get back to her desk and focus on her things. And I can get back to my desk and focus on my things. And if Juanita needs a hand, well, I can give Juanita a hand now because I couldn't really before. So I feel like fixing the problems that are causing or at least trying to like alleviate some of the problems that are leading to the burnout is a big part of it. And then also I think for one, recognizing that it's even happening.
Yep.
And telling people like, it's okay for you to take a day off. If you need some time, like just let us know.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get a day off at some point, and it's either you're going to be plan it and take it when we can account for it, or you're going to call in sick for 3 days.
I mean, that's exactly what I was talking about, right? Like that's preventative versus like, that's when you run into the worst problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Because then nobody planned for that.
Nobody planned for it.
And the people that get left behind.
And then everybody gets
it all
so
dumped on them.
resentful. Yeah.
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 So,
And then they're even madder.
Right.
So I don't know that I have all the answers either. I think like we're trying to stay on top of being mindful of people's current workloads and their mental states, and us saying thank you when things are going well. We've had a couple good months, to Wade's point, where I think it was you, the buying lunches and bringing stuff in. Like people just enjoy, and then if they want to sit down and take an extra 15 minutes, half hour for lunch that day and mingle because we've all got everybody together and everybody's in a good mood and enjoying pizza, and then fine, right?
Yeah.
I don't monitor people's times and they're out there playing a game of ping pong. If you need to play for 5 more minutes because you just need 5 more minutes, then take it.
Exactly.
Right? I don't think that we've ever been, and we certainly don't. I don't feel like people have abused that, and I would hope that we don't have to worry about people abusing it. But I think Wade and I are both pretty laid back to the point where it's like, if you need an extra few minutes here, there, or a day off or whatever, like I think we're pretty understanding and accommodating of that, even if that's not how we live our lives. Like,
yeah.
Wade probably more than me is understanding that like this is a job to them.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
this isn't their baby.
They come here for 8 hours and then they go home, and they should leave all their stuff here. It's like, yeah, you're right. So hopefully we're doing okay with that. But it's tough.
There was a guy that we had hired yesterday, and I was sort of explaining to him that, he's like, you can work some more hours through the week if you'd like and knock off early on a Friday. But I was like, at the end of the day, what I want you to really pay attention to is all of the guys around you. And so if you have 5 deliveries on a Friday afternoon, I don't want you to knock off at 2:00 and just sewer your team, because those guys are here to help you and you're here to help them, right? You guys have to do this together. So just be aware of that. Look at the calendar. If it's a light Friday afternoon and you have some time banked, sure, take some time off. That's okay. It doesn't matter to me. Like, if you got your hours in, you got your hours in. So anyways, yeah.
Do you guys think that maybe, because like I've worked at a few places, but I've never ever seen a burnout policy in any HR or like welcome package hangout, like piece of document. Like maybe that's something that people should be looking for. Some sort of like, I don't know. This is how we don't want you to get burned out. Like even just a statement.
That's not a bad idea. That's a good idea. I was just trying to do some quick memories in my head too. I don't think that I have either, but I've also never worked a job that has been so change of pay, like that changes so much as this one, right? Like when I was working at SaskTel, I was like, every day was the same. There wasn't.
I mean, that monotony though, like that goes back to monotony, right?
100%. But there was never like, I don't feel like I ever got too stressed about things there, because it was always kind of at your own pace in a way there.
Crown course.
And also it's like
sometimes like iPhone launch time, things get a little bit more hectic because there's a new iPhone launching or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But like for the most part, pretty even keel. And even in my past like sales positions or whatever at like, retail, at like a selling computers, Leonard Drugs or something, it's like there's no time of year that computer sales surge through the roof and everybody's running around with their head cut off, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just not like that. But here it's very much like that.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
the nice thing about here is that it's predictable too, though. You know when it's coming. Well, at least you have an idea when it's coming. It's coming in the spring. It's coming in the spring.
For sure
when
after
spring.
February.
Yeah, when spring. Could be, I don't know, March 1st or May 1st. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
so here more than any, maybe that's a good idea. We probably should have a burnout policy. Just things to look for when, like, for people to self-identify when they're feeling that, right? Because maybe some people aren't able to identify or associate feelings to something. Just knowing that they're like, yeah, I'm more irritable right now, but I don't know why, kind of thing. It's like, well, it's because you have 55 estimates on your plate and nobody's helping you, and you keep getting called and pulled away to do other things. That'll help.
Yeah.
I also
Start the panic.
I also think burnout also has a lot to do with like feeling ashamed too, right? Like you don't tell anybody because you're like, I don't get burned out.
This is that whole mental health thing,
Yeah.
right? Where people are like scared to say they're sick or they're sad or they're lonely or whatever. It's like, man, everybody does it.
Yeah.
There isn't a single person that hasn't gone through that.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah. So
talk about it.
I think by putting a statement in some sort of manual, at least about burnout, good way to start that conversation.
Like we don't hire burnouts
Yeah, exactly.
like that.
Don't hire them. If you've burned out before, don't come in.
Yeah.
Just don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not the
Anyways.
worst idea. Not it on writing the document.
I already knew it was mine. Any other feedback or tips, Bryce, from your word? Like
So what do
your
you got
worldly
there?
wisdom?
Yeah, you have some stuff on there. Do you want to read through some of that stuff? Do you want to like anything that jumps off the page at you?
We kind of all got through most of it. I mean, burnouts just seems to be
Yeah, these ones I liked right here. It's ways to identify it, right?
5 things.
5 things to like the risk factor, or do you want the risk factors or the signs and symptoms?
I want the symptoms, right?
Let's do both.
Okay. So the like signs and symptoms of burnout, we got alienation from work-related activities,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yep.
Physical symptoms, chronic stress leads to physical symptoms like headaches, stomach aches, intestinal issues.
Isn't that funny how stress like it's
It's a full body thing.
somatizes?
Right?
Is that what it
Turns-
is? Somatizes?
Turns physical.
It's in your stomach. Almost always stress ends up in your stomach for some reason, right? It's like your bowels and strange.
Emotional exhaustion. I think everybody kind of gets that. Reduced performance,
Oh yeah. Yep.
right?
Absolutely. You get so tired that it takes you 2 hours to do an estimate instead of 45 minutes. And, yeah.
And then like the risk factors, unreasonable time pressure. Employees who say they have enough time to do their work are 70% less likely to experience high burnout.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's the, I would say, probably the primary one here right now.
Yeah.
Not that we're putting out, not that, well, we are, like we have our own kind of internal policies as how quickly we want things to happen as far as estimates getting back to people or whatever. So there is that pressure there that's created for good reason. But at this time of the year, it's just like, we can't justify having 2 estimators on staff all year round.
Right.
So for this couple months where the job could probably use 1 1/4, it's still just one person.
Right.
So-
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, well, I can't just plug somebody in for 2 months. It doesn't work like that.
Doesn't work. Lack of communication and support from a manager. I think this is a big one that a lot of companies miss. So, lack of role clarity.
Yeah.
That's something
We suffer from
we've
that.
all talked about.
Can I tell you, just back to number 2, lack of communication and support from manager. So when I was at, I'm like, how much math can people do to figure out back who this might be? I maybe it wasn't burnout, but it was certainly like I was just kind of like exhausted of my job. I was just kind of done doing the same shit over and over and over again. And that probably resulted in me like not caring as much if I was there right at 8 o'clock. And so I'd roll in a lot of times at like 8:10. It was supposed to start at 8. I'm there at 8:10.
Right.
And I had a manager who would phone my office every day at like 8:02, 8:03. And I know that she needed nothing. I know she didn't need shit. She was calling there to see if I was there yet. And all it did was fucking make me hate her. Because like, I know what you're doing. And it seems sneaky and slimy because if I was there, the times that I was there and I would answer the phone, she would have to like scramble and make some shit up as to why she was phoning my office at 8:02.
Right.
And so it was just like, it just made me despise her in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And so what did that do? I certainly wasn't remotivated to be like, oh shit, I guess I better get to work earlier so I can be there for the check-in phone call.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
so it just like, that didn't help
That's
anything.
not support. That's
No.
That's the opposite.
yeah.
That's a stressor, right?
Yeah,
That's
for
an
sure.
added stressor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Unmanageable workload.
yep. That's, I guess that one also. Number 1, number 4 for us right now. That's for sure.
Yeah. And then unfair treatment. That's another one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, how do you feel like we did on that list?
I don't feel like we're treating anybody unfairly. I think we do, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong in that, but nobody's told me so. And if
I
they,
just mean in the whole list.
if they do want to tell us about it, they can shut their mouths and get back to work.
Yeah.
But
Jeez.
Go work somewhere else.
Go fight each other.
I feel, yeah. So not bad. I think that I think there's some here that certainly we're experiencing this right now, and I'm hoping that we're trying to kind of manage those things as much as we can. But I certainly know there's a few people I can specifically think of here that like maybe we're not doing enough for, or we're very aware that they're overloaded right now, and we're trying to figure things out. But like I know for sure Carly up in Saskatoon, I know like he had a lot on his plate there for quite a while. It still does, but like now that you're there, I think that's helped a bit. That was part of the solution. But like before that, it was like that store got really busy this year.
Yeah.
And
we've added another person, right? So Michaela's there, so that helps a lot because now we have somebody to answer the phone, somebody like, and she's doing some estimates as well. We have those tools that you built over the winter, the software, for doing estimates. That's helping. So if it's a rectangle, Michaela's got it. She just helps, like the quick ones. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this year we've invested a lot of time and money into tools that are hopefully helping. To your point, the estimating tools we built and whatever else, those are helping, but also just other software things that are helping to keep track and keep them organized and keep communication. And like we haven't implemented them all completely perfectly yet, and we're still working on them. But I think we as a ownership team are certainly not opposed to spending money on things that are going to make people's jobs better or easier or more manageable or whatever. So
there's certainly some things that make it better and some that make it worse, right? So like
maybe some of those tools caused headaches before they solved any. But
certainly, right? Yeah. But also with like we have our sales pipeline, and that probably puts a little stress on it. Like you say, as ownership, it's like we want to know that. I want to know how many estimates are out there, and I want to know if people are following up. But the person that's in charge of following up, that's probably added a little stress to him because last year you could have just forgot about that guy and it could have been just gone, right?
Mm-hmm. But I think that kind of stuff though, it's either organized stress or it's disorganized stress, and disorganized stress is way worse. Way worse. When I have things in my head weighing on me, it's awful. Yeah. And if I sit down and just like write those things out and get myself prepared to tackle them, and I have a list of things I can check off, then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, now I can metabolize what I'm actually even worried about. Yeah. And I can start checking them off one at a time.
Then I can work around them. I said, I don't like this one at all. I got to do these first three. Then we'll do this bottom 7, and then I'm going to jump back here and do one above that. And then
so as much as that list, that pipeline might be a visual representation of how busy you are, it might be stressful in ways. It doesn't change how busy you actually are.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it helps clarify.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So. Without it, you'd just be like super, super busy and not really know how busy or how anybody could help you or what could it would just be a mess. Right. Mm-hmm. So anyway, this is a topic that was just like
top of mind.
20 minutes. That's what Wade said.
We just wanted to roundtable it a little bit. So I think we've done that.
I wished. I don't know. How do you think we do?
I think you do fine. I mean, you guys are
like fine, or fine like my wife fine.
Fine. It's
like
fine.
When she says fine, things ain't fine.
You want to go for drinks with your buddies? Yeah, it's fine.
No, it's fine, you guys. Just keep doing what you're doing, I guess.
Fine.
No, I think being such a young company, like 5 years old, you guys are like babies. You're in the survival. You're just past survival mode,
right? Yeah.
Right.
Most businesses don't make it to right now.
Right.
Yeah.
So
just starting.
Now it's time to plan for a bigger future.
Yeah.
Right.
I think we're very much in a transitionary state from being like, we're still obviously by definition a small business if you're going to rate that by number of employees or revenue, whatever, but we're for sure transitioning from being micro small business where everybody knows everything and does everything and there doesn't really need to be processes because it's the owners are running it and it's all there, to like, okay, so if we want to scale this at all or grow to have any growth whatsoever, we need to implement the people and the processes to do so. And we're right in the middle of that, getting the people added in one at a time, here and there. That's going well. And processes, we're very aware of the need of it, but we're behind on that a little bit, but we know that we need to do that.
Yeah,
and so
we've got a couple of them in place, and there are a few things that now happen in the company that I don't know. I don't have a handle on anymore. And it just like, it happens. And I think as this company grows, that'll become a little easier for us. But like right now, Shane and I both probably don't like that much. Cause it's like, well, wait, that's not how I would have done that.
Right.
But you can't do it all. I can't do it all.
Yeah. I mean, the best analogy I've heard for that is like when, as a leader, when you let someone like take a hold of a task, you don't make them drive in the same straight line that you would. You like put two boundaries on either side of the highway, and as long as they're within those lanes, you're okay.
Bumper bowling.
Yeah, they made it, right?
Yeah. And so I was just talking to Vanessa about how she handled the back, and so she said that she came, and Pat was off for a few days, and she came in and started working on stuff, and she said there was a few things that she did that now people just do.
Yeah.
Like the delivery team or the warehouse team just expects things to happen. And it wasn't anything that Shane or I had told her to do or talked about. She just solved a problem. Mm-hmm. And it was like, if somebody had back orders, she's now stapled a sheet to the front of their order that's like, here's what got missed, rather than having to flip through 5 pages. But it was like, nobody ever did that before because we didn't. It was just like, when we started, we just circled them, and that was what was left behind. She said, well, why do we flip through all these pages? So she just did that, just happened.
Mm-hmm. And
so that stuff is super encouraging, because it's like, if we're out of the way, some things just happen better, because we're absolutely our own worst enemies in some of this stuff, right? Well, that's how it's always been done. Yeah, but you were doing it wrong. Get out of the way. Let them do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah. So it's happening over the last couple of years. Shane and I have started to do that, and it's good. It's exciting to walk in and see some new processes that work well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, man.
So there it is.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Burnout happens. Manage it like Bryce says, every day.
Every day,
Get drunk and fall asleep.
Get wasted.
Yeah. And just be aware. Be aware of when you're starting to feel a little
it.
funny, because we've had these mental health chats a few times on this podcast, and it's important, especially now, because it's not just work stress right now that everybody's facing.
Mm-hmm.
Like this whole pandemic thing has created a whole other world of stresses for people, sometimes financial, sometimes health related, sometimes whatever.
Yep.
And so there's a lot playing into it. And so it's just kind of remember to take a mental check. And I think the one we maybe didn't talk about is like talking to somebody when you're starting to feel that burnout, whatever. Like, I feel like I internalize things fairly well, and I deal with it in the way it goes, and I don't need a lot of conversation with somebody, but for a lot of people, they would need to talk to somebody. And if they don't have that person to talk to, then it just accumulates until it becomes something they can't manage themselves anymore, and then you got a problem big time.
That's right.
Deal with it how you need to deal with it, but understand that there's always somebody willing to listen. And I certainly, like, I feel more than ever now that there's starting to be a bit of a disconnect between like a bit of a hierarchy here. Because when it was a smaller team, it was always easy to be like, yeah, it's all us, right? Like when it was me, you, and Justin, for example, that were the only permanent guys, and maybe sort of Pat that was there most of the year. It was a very small team. It never felt like we were the bosses and they were the guys. It was like, we do this as a team. But now we're getting to the point now where there's a couple layers in between. And so, below myself would be Fraser, who's the GM of this operation. And below him would be, Vanessa/Pat, who are kind of managing the yard guys. And then there's the yard guys. And so between me and the yard guys, there's a few levels there now. And I don't work with them every day all the time. So they probably don't feel super, like, I hope I'm making them feel comfortable, but I'm not interacting with them daily to the point that they feel like there's a friendship or like we're part of the same team. Like, I'm not
No, you're the man.
That. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just like, it's
the guy that got a beat at ping pong.
The guy. Yeah. That's how they know me. But it's like, maybe it is starting to feel a little bit more like a hierarchy here, where it's like, no, that's the boss and he works upstairs. He doesn't.
He works in that big room with the green sheet on the wall.
I don't even know what it is, what he's doing up there. But so, anyway, and some of those guys, like, it takes me a little bit of time to get to know their names. Like, they might be here a couple weeks before I've nailed that down, right?
The one guy came downstairs. I don't think he's ever met me before today. And I walked down and I came through the back and he was sort of shadowing Fraser and trying to help on the sales floor. And I walked in and was like, what are you doing? Are you going to help this guy? And he was like, I don't really know. I was like, okay, well then I will. And so then I just talked to the customer and I grabbed the mouse and I rang the guy in and we sold him some stuff. But when I first walked down there, he was protecting the computer for me. I wasn't about to start using that. You know what I mean? He was like kind of in my way and I was like, either you're helping this guy or get out of the way. And he was like, well, I don't really know. Like, okay, well I got it. And then, So anyways, it's funny. Like you talk about the layers, there's for sure people that I don't know.
Yep.
I still do payroll for the company, which hopefully that'll change soon. But like once I'm like filling out paychecks on this every second Wednesday, I was like, don't know that guy, never met that guy. So, and it's strange. It's weird, but I love it as well. It's also like awesome that we've done that.
I made up all those employees. You're just paying me multiple times.
Yeah, exactly. I wondered about the same bank account number, but I didn't ask any questions.
Bryce, Jeff, and Donna. He's all of those.
Yeah.
This came up recently with my wife for some reason. I don't remember why. I mentioned something about like, maybe she was here the one day and I was like, I'm sorry. I like in a moment, I forgot that guy's name. I can't remember if that was so-and-so or so-and-so because they were like new people and I've met them, but it hasn't stuck yet. And she's like, that's pretty bad. You don't know the people that's working for you's names. I was like, yeah, but it's like, but they're new and I don't work with them every day. There's I'm a little bit removed from them and like they just started and there's 23 people here. Like, it's going to take me a little bit. She's like, yeah, but you should know all their names. It's not that big. I was like, what's the number? What's the number then, Jay-Z? What's the number of employees before it's okay to not know somebody's name within a week of them starting? Yeah. What's that number? I was like, because I've worked at places where for sure the president didn't know my name, like much bigger places. But like, when is it okay to like? What's the okay amount of time for me to? Anyway, so
20.
Yeah, and so we were at 23 or whatever it was. So I was like, it's okay.
So that means you can only miss 3.
You 3 don't get to count.
Yeah. I've got the rest of you, but you 3 are just A, B, and C. And so
you have to work to displace someone.
Yeah, exactly. But Saskatoon too, there's a lot changing there. There's a lot of change over. Obviously, turnover with the Fight
lumber
Club you got going on up there.
Don't talk about Fight Club.
And so for a little bit there, and this was my way of dealing with burnout a little bit maybe too, is that I was volunteering to be the guy who drives to Saskatoon for a few times there. I was like, a lot going on here. Everybody's stressed out. I don't want to pull bodies away from here. And you know what? I could use I don't mind the drive.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this 5 hours of driving today to myself and I'm going to go do this trip. But then I get there and be like, oh, hey, how are you? I'm Shane. And then I go up 2 days later and it'll be a different set of guys.
Right.
I was like, what happened to the other guy? Yeah, he's gone.
We're building a team up there. We're making some cuts.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a tryout.
Gotta start somewhere.
it's a varsity tryout in Saskatoon right now. Yeah.
Whatever.
That would be hilarious if you just stick like a sheet of names outside the door every day.
I should actually
Did you make the team? No, sorry.
Yeah, try again tomorrow. Carly she says also, don't tell the boss that you're happy you're not at the shop working. So my last trip to Saskatoon, I hit some crap on the road. Somebody lost a ratchet strap and I was behind a semi and I was about to pass or like go change lanes.
I didn't know what he meant by this. I read that comment and
that's
I didn't
this
know
guy,
what he meant. Yeah, and if that's what he's talking about.
Yeah. So I go to change lanes from behind the semi and I like do my shoulder check and I start changing lanes and then all of a sudden like I couldn't see the debris in the road because the semi had me and all of a sudden it appears as I'm changing and I'm driving it towards it. Too late to like swing back because I've got a trailer behind me. Yeah. So I don't want to jerk it really fast. And so I shut up.
I would have used the podcast.
I would have used literally any other word.
Yeah. I didn't want to swerve quickly.
Yeah, there you go.
It's not like I'm at home. To get a quick one in.
So I tried to miss it, didn't miss it. I hit like the freaking like the ratchet and gear of the thing, whatever. I was like, crap. It was like boom, boom. And I just like my air pressure gauge was already on the screen conveniently. So I just stared at it for a minute, waiting to see what it would do. And it was like, bloop, whatever it was at, 240. Okay, good. 160, 120. I was like, crap.
0.
Well, anyways, the guy they sent me, I think, was on the cusp of maybe not working for us anymore anyway. That's why they sent him to me to be because I was only about 15 minutes out with Saskatoon. I was real close. So wait, and I go open the back of my truck, and the jack is not in there. And so I'm like, perfect. So I can't change my tires. So I called Wade, and we've got the same year trucks. One's GM, one's Chef, so we'd have the same jack and tools and everything. Like, do you have yours in the back of that truck? Yeah, it's here. Okay, I'll send so and so out to see you or to bring it to you. Sounds good. So he gets out there, and I was like, okay, well, me and so are gonna have some bonding time out here on the side of the highway.
How was the bonding time?
He didn't make it to the next day. But Carly's comment here is that in the time that him and I spent on the side of the road together trying to get the tire off, he mentioned to me on a few times that he was happy to be not working, that he was glad he was on the side of the road because he didn't like working, and this is a way better way to spend the rest of his day hanging out watching me change the tire than to be working, and didn't want to go back. And I was like, after I got going again, I called Wade. I was like,
guess
so?
what?
How's that working out? Because I don't think he's the guy.
Tomorrow. You're
not
gonna
real
have to
eager.
work
Not
either.
real eager, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like he'd be just fine if he didn't have to work tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we should make that happen.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It was something else.
And I don't think he was burnt out. I don't think wasn't that he worked so hard for so long. He was like, anyway, it is what it is.
Work wasn't his thing.
No, just not a very worky guy. So anyway, thanks for tuning in and listening to us ramble for an hour and 20 minutes today.
Just like we said, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Hour and 20 minutes. Missed that part.
I've been trying to line up an interview podcast, and I hope
Next
we
week,
can do it next week.
Call me on Friday. Interview me.
Yeah, it won't be you. Well, you can call in if you like, but there's
I have
somebody else in
lots to
mind.
say.
So, if you have any topics for us, Buck32, we're looking for people to kind of give us some topics. I want to get back into doing some more interview style ones. We have a few people that have offered to be interviewed or guests on the podcast, so we'll have to explore that a little bit too. But if you have any topics that we haven't touched on in a while, or ever, we're all ears. Let's do what the people want of us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. We should do a whole podcast about how much Wade hates people that I can't remember what I was going to say anymore. Don't worry about it.
You burnt out?
I'm
You
burnt
need the day off? You burnt out?
Okay, sounds good. We'll do
I
that one
had
next
it.
week.
Do you need a glass of wine?
Don't worry about it. I'll be okay.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.
Hey, thank you for listening to the Ultimate Deck Podcast. Now you know what we're about. Check the site, come and shop. UltimateDeckShop.com. Hit us right away for sponsorships, or tell us if you want to collaborate. Let's go. Check us out on any social networks. Thank you for listening.